I remember my very first journey to Africa. It was a completely unique experience. Um, I went to Africa, unlike the way most people go. I took a 4-month-old baby, my firstborn son, went with me and my then wife to Africa, and we took a great leap of faith because everybody said don't go. Everybody said that's too dangerous. And of course I heard all the stories about everything that was going to happen, and let me tell you, none of that happened. None of that happened. It was the most beautiful experience that I can tell you. I can't even fully verbalize all the wonderful things that I realized on that journey. In addition to going with my son, though, I was going to meet my mother. This is her first grandson, her first grandchild, and she was going to meet him on the soil. So it was super special to bring my son to meet my mother, on the motherland. Totally unique. Very, very special experience. And let me tell you, arriving at the airport and leaving the airport exemplifies why it's so important to return to Africa. We got there. I was so nervous about all the things that might happen. These stories that people had told me. I was so scared for my baby, my family. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I left the airport and forgot all of our passports. This is the day we arrived, okay? I left the passports at the airport, all right? And someone, my cab driver, and a couple of hours later, after we had arrived and gotten all settled in, I didn't even realize it. The cab driver came, knocked on the door, and he says, "These are yours." And I realized, oh, that would have been the end of us, not the end of us, but, it would have been a really difficult situation. And in Africa, I met real people. That's what I'm trying to say. That was my introduction to what a human being truly is. It didn't stop with the passports. One incident after another, the people proved themselves. They demonstrated for no reason other, no motivation. I didn't pay people. It was nothing. They just saw in me a brother, and they took care of me like a brother. They saw in me a son, and they cared for me like a son. They saw in me a friend, and they cared for me like a friend, over and over and over again. And so I learned what it was to be a human being in Africa. And the best part about that, for me, was that it wasn't a new feeling. It wasn't a new experience. It wasn't something like, wow. It was something that totally resonated with what I have always known to be true. It was a relief to finally be amongst people who actually were engaging in life the way I felt life was supposed to be lived, with sincerity, with, integrity, with intensity and focus, because the people were very poor economically, but you didn't see this scowl of poverty and deprivation on their faces. They didn't wear their poverty like a burden, that was just, weighing them down. The people were very bright. They were very kind. They were very generous, very loving. They were real people. And the fact that they didn't have money or they didn't have shoes, it did not matter. They were fully engaged and present in the process of living their lives. And so that is, to me, the essence of education. The Orisa Lifestyle Academy is all about the trying to capture the real essence of an African pedagogy, the real process and experience that brings you into contact with your truth. And traveling is an indispensable element in that process. And so your experience in the Orisa Lifestyle Academy won't be complete until you make your way back to the continent and you sit in the motherland and you engage with the people as a real person, and they can bring you into contact with the thing that you know to be true. Okay? And so we're also going to go to Trinidad, which is a fantastic bridge between old and new. Trinidad has this really special relationship both with African Americans and with Nigeria, because there was a wave of Nigerians, Yorubas, who came into Trinidad long after the slave trade, right? And these people retained another level of relationship to the continent and to the source, okay? But then there was also a wave of African Americans that went down into Trinidad, right? And you see this intersection between the two in a manifestation like the Shongo Baptists. And so that's a really unique and special history that we're going to develop. And I invite you to go and check it out. Go and do some research, okay? And you'll see that in Trinidad you have this really special opportunity of cultural and human discovery, which is, like I said, that's essential. You can't really have a complete education without going out into certain kinds of places that are going to bring you into contact with the things that are most truly seated in your own being. So I invite you to check out the tours to Trinidad, check out the tours to Nigeria. Start putting your calendar together, start putting your money together, and let's live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. Aboro aboye, aboshishe.